What up, guys? Fojo here, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Tarkov and how I've been managing to make a little bit of extra money because of these simple kits I've been running. An easy way to trade for a lot of these and not spend the money that you want to save up and use on different things like your stash, your hideout, improving all the things that you want to improve. And so these are some of the tips on building kits at an early part of the game that have made me a lot of money and helped me out a lot so far. But real quick, if you guys could hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, that would help me out so much. I'd really appreciate that. Leave a comment if you guys think that this is a decent way to do things at a mid-range level and to kind of get you by while you're making money before you have to buy into too big of stuff. Or if there's a better way to do things, because I want to hear that there's a better way. But leave it in the comments and also hit the bell just to let you know when new content's dropping. So in Tarkov, some of the traders have some really good trades that you can take advantage of, and you just kind of got to figure out which ones are worthwhile and which ones aren't. And being at level 15 helps that out a lot because you can actually check prices on a lot of the items that are for trade and the things that you need to do that. With that being in mind, this is basically a level 15 kit, so you can check things out and whatnot. But a lot of these items are easy to find, so if you find them in raid, grab them, take them out, and use them to trade. But to start off with, we're going to be going over the armor that is available from Prapper at level 1. So you can go in there and trade him a propane for this level armor, and it's a level 3 armor with 60 points on it. It's pretty decent armor, it's pretty mid tier. For the price that you're paying for propane, it's a lot cheaper than going and buying something off the market or buying something from Ragman. Because generally propane tends to run between 15 and 30,000, and usually you can get it around 20 and buy it for that, and it's a lot cheaper than paying for armor that's not as good as that and paying more for it. So this is a great deal from Prapper. And so the next piece of equipment will be from Jaeger. Jaeger will have the Tarzan tactical rig, and the tac rig will be a trade for hunting matches. And now hunting matches are sold on the market for around 5 to 10k at the really high end. So this is a steal for a tac rig, super cheap. The cheapest one you can get from Ragman is 10k, and it's a little bank robber. So you're going to get almost double the space in this and spend half as much money. But you will have had to get level with Jaeger a bit to get this deal. It is at level 2 with him, so this may be a little harder one to get until later on. But the bank robber is a solid choice until then. It's small, but it does the job. Now next we have the Fort Kyver M Bulletproof Helmet. Ragman at level 1 you can get this. It isn't the best looking helmet, and you also cannot wear headphones with this, but it will keep your head protected from some certain levels of things. So with this kit, you can basically have two options. One, you spend a little bit more on a helmet and have headphones, or you can spend less money on a helmet and not have headphones. This is the less money option. So the trade for this is only 2 chainlets, and on the market those generally go for 4 to 7k. So you can spend about 8,000 rubles to get this helmet, which is really cheap. But this is the cheapest helmet option as far as early on game goes. You could buy one off the market, but the market's going to cost you 20,000 plus at least. So this is a good option as long as you're willing to sacrifice headphones, which may not be for you. In which case we have a couple headphones you can get and a helmet to replace this one, but it's just going to cost you more than the other ones would. And so our headphone options are going to be the GSSH, which is a very cheap option as far as headphones go. I think it is the cheapest option, and it's probably not going to give you the best sound quality, but it is headphones that you can go under most helmets and will do the job. And you only have to pay, you have to barter paper for it, which is pretty cheap. Paper generally goes around 10k, 10 to 15k generally, and some of these other headphones are that same price, so you may just want to look at the market at the same time just to check if you have the availability to do so. Because we also have the Comtacs, which are also a trade with Ragman as well, but at level 2. The Comtacs will also be an option, but they are a trade that costs a little bit more, and you may be able to just find those on the market or from Ragman for a cheap or similar rate, so that may be the option for headphones anyways. And so for the other helmet trade for Ragman, which is also at level 1, will be the 6B47 Ratnik BSH helmet. This one you can get for trading in 2 bottles of bleach. This one will cost you around 16 to 17k depending on the market. Also a good option, and you can also wear the headphones with this, so Usually I would say go with this. The other one's just a budget one. If you're going in and you don't need headphones, you're just running in and doing a task, that's probably what to go with. But if you need something to protect you and have a little bit of room for your headphones, this is definitely the one to go with. And bleach isn't crazy expensive, so you can definitely make it happen. And that also brings us to the backpack. The backpack option for your kit is probably just going to be the MBSS backpack that you can also get from Ragman at level 1. This backpack is pretty decent sized and it only costs 12k. You will be spending money, but it's not crazy money. Or if you happen to have some backpacks from your scav runs, utilize those from your scav runs and use those in your PMC runs. As long as they're not bright blue or something like that, you're usually okay to get away with it. And so as far as guns go, I really think that a good way to go with guns is probably just going for a cheap assault rifle or submachine gun early on, grabbing it and running it pretty bare bones. You can put a sight on it if you want to, but that also requires you to make sure that there's something to mount the sight on. I would say just go with a general assault rifle or like a cheap MP5 AK that you get off the market or the traders, but generally it's going to be a little cheaper to get it off the market if you have the ability to use the market. That makes it a little cheaper as well. Now, generally, all of these things are going to be ranging in prices and the market fluctuates, so you can't hold this to a perfect standard. But generally, this will run you under 75,000 rubles, and it'll be a budget kit that you can go in with, make money and come back. But this kit is cheap, so it's not that big of a deal if you lose everything. You can also insure it if you really want your stuff back. It should show up the next day. A lot of these things people aren't interested in taking, so as long as you're willing to repair them, they're useful for a little while. As long as you're still in that mid-range gameplay, as long as you're still trying to make money and get to a spot where you want to be, this is kind of the option to go for. It gives you a balance of not spending too much money and still having some decent protection while you're going into these raids. And of course, if you have better options, please do those, but right now these are some of the better options for cheap kits and easily available kits for you to go in and grab and get back in the raid. But these are just some of the things that I've found that I believe to be useful and helpful, and so I wanted to share them with you guys. But if there is anything else you want to hear from me, if there are any tips on money making you want to know about, or things to prioritize while looting, let me know and I will make a guide for that as well. But I really appreciate you guys being here and listening to me talk a little bit. If you could leave a comment about if you agree with this, is this helpful, or is there a better way to do something, I would love to hear it. So leave it in the comments, and if you guys could like the video and subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate that. And we'll have more videos out soon. I hope to see you there.